Hey everyone, it's Karley Hall, and in today's tutorial we are going to be using Starcraft's matte printable vinyl to print some stickers, and then we're going to overlay it with this laminate that I purchased from 143 Vinyl. The brand is called Style Tech, and there's two different patterns. This one is the mist, so Style Tech mist laminate, and you can see that it's kind of got like a dot holographic look, and we're going to overlay our stickers with that. And then there's also this confetti look. So we're going to overlay our stickers with these fun holographic laminate sheets. Now, I was just looking, before I start a video, I always like to research and make sure I understand the product and understand what you can do with it. And I just looked on the product listing, and these are actually sublimatable. So you can actually print with your sublimation printer and then transfer it on. Obviously, the background would be transparent since this is a clear, but I thought that'd be really cool. So we may have to do that in another video. But just if you're interested in sublimating on this laminate, that is an option. Okay, if you're new to Cricut and new to Print Then Cut, I do have a full comprehensive tutorial on what the heck Print Then Cut is. We are going to be printing with a printer and cutting with a Cricut. So let's get started. Here is a quick look at the products we're using today. So on 143's website, I will link to this page, this product landing page, so you can see that we're using the Starcraft matte inkjet printable vinyl. I ordered a 10-pack. I ordered the 12 by 12 sheets. So depending on how much you print, you can cut down your material and apply it just over the printed area. So I have the confetti 12 by 12 and this mist laminate. And if you click into the product listing, when I scroll down, you can see here that you can sublimate at 345 degrees for 20 to 25 seconds. So now I need to try that. Okay, so let's get started in Cricut Design Space. I already chose my images, so I thought that it would be super fun to help out Santa's elves and create some stickers that have a little bit of the North Pole magic with this holographic shimmer. So I found these on Design Bundles, I believe. So I will put a link for you. I'll zoom in. There was a 4-pack, so they just had different postage stamps. And then if you know that they're just for a certain special somebody, you can actually type the name directly on here or handwrite it in if you just want to fill them out as you go. Karley. We'll leave one so that you can see. I'm gonna make a copy of that, and I will make my X since I'm using my name. And I'm on the nice list. So then, once I'm happy with the positioning, font, color, all that good stuff, you're going to highlight both and then flatten. I will leave that so we can see how that looks when we print it. I'm using the beta software, so it may be a little slow, and that may be why we're getting a little glitchy action happening. I'm going to drop down here to the blank canvas option. I'm going to change the background to gray so that we can easily see the background. Oh, it's not even changing the canvas. So we've got a lot of glitching happening. Okay, here we go. So like I said, I'm in the beta software, so it is a little glitchy. But for Print Then Cut, if you are interested in seeing a full tutorial on what Print Then Cut is and how to use it, I'll link that in my video description. For this one, we're going to move a little quicker. I'm going to grab a square and we're going to unlock it and put in these Print Then Cut parameters. So right now, as of October 2022, the max printable area is 6.75 by 9.25. So we want to make sure that our images are arranged within there. If you want to see how I do that and why I do that, there's more detail in the other video. But for this video, we're just going to grab that rectangle and I'm going to arrange my stickers within that space. Very, very glitchy with this beta. I could switch to the original, but I'm going to leave it and we're just going to work through it. For this one, I'm going to delete my name off so I do have a blank one. This one's my favorite because it has the 3 stamps on it. So I'm going to make another copy of that and just arrange my stickers. So you can just pick whatever stickers you want. You can also make them bigger. So say I wanted this one to be bigger, I could resize that to fit this space here. And we'll take one more, make a copy, and I'm going to rotate it to fit into that last spot here. And this will just be a smaller one. All right, so I've taken advantage of most of the space on here. With the beta software, and actually I think it's in the new release too, we can actually make this a template or a guide so that it doesn't cut, and we're just using that as a guide. So this is, we're gonna call this our printable area restriction, just so you know what that is. And then we're going to highlight all of our stickers, and we don't need this one selected, so everything is highlighted except that printable area. And then we're going to click attach. So now when we send this to make, it will hold all of these together and it won't rearrange on our mat. We'll save this, and then we're going to click make it. On this next screen, you can see that we take advantage of most of our material. The print and cut restriction is a little frustrating because we are losing quite a bit of material on the right and the left, but the way that the sensor works, you do need quite a bit of white space along this line for your machine to read where your image is. This black line is what your Cricut will read to know where to cut. So it is very important that that black line does print. We'll click continue, and then we're going to send it to the printer. When we click send to printer, you'll want to choose whichever printer you're using. I'm using a Canon printer, which I will link in the video description. I think it is really great for this material, and I love it because it's a rear feeder printer. There's a newer version on the market too, but this one, it comes in around $249 right now. And I think it's a great value because it can pull those thick materials, and it can print 12 by 12 material, which is great. So for this, we are going to turn on the bleed. The bleed will add a little bit of ink around each image so that if the Cricut cuts off a hair, we won't have any white space and it will be filled with ink. And then we're going to print using the system dialog. Super important to toggle this on because when we click print, it won't actually start printing. It will pull up another window. That window looks like that. So that window will pull up. If it doesn't pop up like mine did, it may be behind design space, and you can just minimize and find this window. And what we want to do is we want to feed from the rear tray if you have a rear tray option. And then I'm going to choose photo, and I'm going to send it up to best. So here is my printable vinyl. The back has a liner that says StarCraft Inkjet Printable Matte Adhesive Vinyl. We'll want to print on the white side. So you'll load this into your printer to make sure that your printer is feeding and printing on this side. Make sure your paper is loaded in, your printer is powered on, and then click print. So while my printer is printing, I pulled up the settings for different materials at 143 vinyl. And you can see that it says StarCraft Inkjet Printable Vinyl with laminate. It's not specifically the holographic, so we may need to play around with the settings, but it recommends cutting on the light cardstock setting and cut 2 times. So we can manually create a setting, or we can use light cardstock and double cut it. So I think we'll make a setting, and then that way I can show you how to do that. So while that's printing, we'll set up our material setting. So we're going to choose Browse All Materials, and then at the bottom here, click Material Setting, very bottom left. If you scroll all the way down, we can add a new material, and I'm going to call this StarCraft Printable Vinyl with Laminate. Click Save. And I should have checked the cardstock first. So we'll scroll up to the L's. Light cardstock is at 214. Scroll back down. We're going to scroll to 214. And we're going to turn on the double cut and click Save. So now, when you click Browse All Materials and search for StarCraft, I can just choose this. I can even put a star by it and then click Done. So now I have this new setting ready to go. Here's a look at my print. You can see the one with my name on it and the check mark looks great. And then around you can see the bleed. So you can see it's a little fuzzy around the edge of my sticker. That is the bleed. So don't worry about the quality. It's going to actually cut inside of that. So here's a look at all the stickers. And now we need to apply the laminate before we move on. The Cricut Maker probably would be able to detect the black box through the laminate, but just to be safe and to conserve material, I'm going to measure out the inside dimensions of my black box. So we're just around 7, just under 7, I'd say. Let's see. Let's mark my material. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to do this. I think I'm going to go with the mist. And I'm going to use a pen, probably should use a Sharpie, but I want to mark where to cut. So just about here. All right, let's see how I did. So I have this inside of the black box, and then I'll do the same thing and mark where I need to cut at the bottom. So I just made a little tiny pen mark. And now I have this scrap that I'm not wasting, and I can use that to test my sublimation stickers. So we'll do that in another video and trim this down. So all these scraps I'm getting to save, which is so great. So now I have my print and my holographic, beautiful laminate, and I'm going to apply it onto my stickers. To do this, I like to reveal just a little bit of the sticky. So I'm just peeling back a little bit. Let's flip it upside down. So I'm going to peel back just a little bit and then fold it so that the sticky is revealed. So you see how that just has a little bit of the sticky revealed. And now this part, we want to make sure that it's lined up and covering all of the stickers, but not going on to the black box. Got a little off on the top corner. We'll just push this out. Okay, so I have the first part adhered, and then you can see that it doesn't cover any of the black box, which is what I want. I have my handy dandy speedball squeegee. I'm going to place that onto the laminate, and then I'm just going to push as the liner is sliding away. So I'm just pushing so that there's no bubbles when I apply it to my print. Let's catch that window light. Okay, so now we have the mist on the stickers, and now we can cut them. So all on the image, not on the black box, and we're ready to cut. Next step, we're going to apply this to a standard grip mat. And this mat is pretty sticky, and if it's like overly sticky and I think it's going to rip my material, sometimes I just de-stick it by kind of de-sticking it with my sweater. So I'm just gonna add some lint to it. I could use a light grip mat, but I think this will be okay. So just de-stick it a little bit, and we'll add our sticker sheet right here and smooth it out. You'll want to make sure it's in the upper left-hand corner so that your Cricut will read these lines. Here's my Cricut. I recently cut a whole bunch of printable vinyl and my blade is a little covered. So I just like to get into the habit of checking my blade before I start cutting so that if there's any debris, I just clean it off before starting. So just a good habit, check your blade before you cut anything. I'm connected through Bluetooth, so I'm going to load in my mat. And then I've already set my material to be that StarCraft printable vinyl with laminate setting that we created together. I just noticed that my star wheels are not moved over, so I'm going to move those over to make sure it's wheeling in correctly, and then I'll start cutting. So right now what you're seeing is it's scanning. That little light is detecting where the black line is in comparison to the white area. And it had no problem figuring out where that was, even with the holographic on the white. So I think we're good. And now it's going to cut around the stickers. So for our setting, we did a light cardstock double cut. and we called it the Starcraft material. So you can see that it went over it twice, and we'll double check to make sure that cut through. Okay, so it's done cutting, and I just want to ensure that it cut through my stickers. And it did. So it just cut through the laminate and the sticker, and then not through the backing. If we wanted to cut them completely through the backing, we would use a different setting, but that's not what we wanted for this. So we can unload this. If our Cricut had not cut through the material, we could run it through again by clicking the go button so that it would not have ruined our project. We'd be fine. To unload your vinyl, I like to push my vinyl into my working surface and then peel away my mat. All right, so we have our stickers, and we can peel them off from the sheet, and we can stick them onto whatever we want. And to make this more of a sticker sheet, I like to peel away the excess. So we'll just grab the corner here and we'll peel away. Oh, make sure it cut through all of them. It looks like it might have just cut through that bottom one, which if it only cut through the bottom one, I'll show you what to do. So I tested the bottom one and it had cut through perfectly, and it looks like that's the only one it cut through. So let's just confirm here. So if I pull them, they're coming off, but with difficulty. So maybe we can baby it and get them off. But if not, we'll send it through the Cricut machine again. So I'm just gonna push them out of the liner, but this would not work if they were more intricate shapes. So I'm just kind of pulling away the outside of the vinyl and pushing down on the sticker, and they are popping out. But for this, I would recommend doing another pass. So when you're making that custom setting, I would probably say cut 3 times, because this is not what it should be weeding like. It should be a lot easier than this, but we're getting there. Okay, so it did cut through, but barely. So like I said, I would probably do one more pass or a little bit more pressure, but they are releasing from the liner really nice. So they didn't cut into the liner at all, which is why I think you could do one more pass and you'd be good. But I have my rectangle labels, and they have that fun laminate. And if I wanted to make this look more like a sticker sheet, I could even trim down the liner. But since I'm just going to be sticking them onto gifts, this is great. I can just put this in my gift box and they're good to go. So let's see if we can catch that shimmer. So you can see that the holographic is really subtle when you're looking at it straight on, but then when it catches the light, it just has this sparkle and glimmer, and it is so pretty. I really, really think it adds a lot of interest, and it's perfect for these North Pole stickers that just needed a little bit of pizzazz. I wanted to show you the one with the name on it so you can see that the name is printed on there, not cut through or anything, since we flattened it on, and the X is there, and it has that perfect amount of holographic shimmer. And then since I pulled it off the liner, you can see that this back side is sticky since it's a sticker. So I can place this on my package and it's good to go. So there's the whole sheet, and I'll give you another angle so you can see just how pretty these are. But like I said, I definitely would recommend cutting them with either a little more pressure or one more pass, since they shouldn't be that difficult to weed. This is the first time that I've tried this holographic laminate, and I'm really excited with how it turned out. I'm going to print another sheet of stickers and try cutting it 3 times, and we'll come back and weed that together to make sure that the settings work. And if not, I'll figure out some additional settings for you. This one just finished cutting. This is the one with 3 passes. So I'm going to flip my mat over just like I did. And looking at the back, it didn't cut through the liner, which is good. And then looking at the front, let's see how they did. Okay, so they're peeling off like the first one did, but now let's see if we can get the outside off a little easier. So I'm going to lift up this corner, and it's still picking up some, like that one right here it picked up, but much easier. So this is really thick material. The other ones are going really good. Okay, so that one significantly better. You can see here, there's the bleed that it chopped off and the rest of the material. So definitely recommend 3 cuts. I also might need a new blade. So my settings might be a little bit different than yours, but I definitely need to replace my blade. I think I'm going to leave it at the 3 times because it did not cut through the liner. There's no cut on the liner and the stickers release really nicely and then the extra pulls away. Since I did not pre-type out the names or anything, I was just planning on using a Sharpie and writing in the names. I don't have the best handwriting, but you can see that you can just write on the holographic, and then I'm using a permanent marker and making sure that it doesn't smear. Looks great. So if you don't want to pre-type in the names, you can use a permanent marker, doodle, and plus, I mean, all the elves have different handwriting, so you don't know which elf that is, right? So I think these turned out really cute. These ones, even though I had a little bit of trouble weeding them, they still turned out perfect. And I do think typing the names is so adorable. So if you already have the names that you need, typing them makes this so easy. As always, I will put the links to all of the products in today's video. The printer, the materials, the squeegee, all of the things you can find in the video description. As a reminder, those links are affiliate links. So what that means is if you shop through and purchase any of the items I recommended in the video, I may earn a small commission, and that's what directly supports this channel. So thank you in advance for shopping through those links so that I can continue producing this content for free. If you have any questions or you're looking for a community of other crafters that are there to help each other with questions, I do have a Facebook group, so I'll link that in the video description as well. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.